We've had a failure of a game like Concord, and we had past successions like Fortnite. But everyone wants to be chasing that big success. Hello, what's up, and welcome everyone. My name is Miss Quinn, and I'm so tired of these live service games. I truly am. I understand wanting to have the next live service success because with that success obviously means a lot of money. Money that companies are always trying to go after. Although not just because you can make cool looking characters or promote it like it's going to be the next best thing doesn't mean it will be the next best thing. In my opinion, the live service games are so overly saturated. Not everyone has good Wi Fi, or let alone any Wi Fi that will let you, play online for a very long time. So you're already singling out a lot of possible customers. For those of you who don't exactly know what live service games are, however, for some reason, they are essentially games that are continuously being updated with new content, like different features, events, and a lot of cosmetic stuff after its initial release. Now, let me pause right here a little bit. We did have a lot of successful live service games. Okay, we have Dead by Daylight, we have Overwatch, Fortnite, and especially Grand Theft Auto Online. These games alone have generated thousands on thousands of dollars, okay? Dead by Daylight on Twitch has 13.4 million followers. Overwatch has 21.4. GTA Online has 68.7 million followers. And Fortnite has 94.5 million followers. Needless to say, guys, these are extremely successful games. But it's not easy to just put out a game and expect so much attention because there's so many to pick from. We have things like Texas Chainsaw Massacre that was a live service game. Guess what? Wasn't exactly a good live service game. I mean, in retrospect, yes, a lot of people did really like it, but just as much as it, developed so much hype, it developed such a big fan base. Guess what? I saw a lot of that fan base dwindle out massively throughout the beginning of that game's runtime. Yes, you can get a hit right away, but you're going to have to maintain that momentum, which is not an easy thing to do. So, like, if you make a live service game, right? Just think about it. What makes your game stand out enough to be picked? Then, after, it's not just about being enough to be picked. What makes it worth so much that players are going to want to spend money within the game? And then apart from being, spending money within the game, what makes the player base want to keep playing your live service game? You understand, you're picking up what I'm putting down. I hope so. Dead by Daylight alone, without any of the added characters to buy, is just $20. Overwatch free, Fortnite free. Grand Theft Auto 5 is usually $40, but right now it's currently on sale for $20 as of the time of writing this. And again, these are great deals considering not just the popularity of these games, but how much you get out of it. And it has a lot of players within it. There is a big player base within these games. Because these games are so popular, this means that you're going to find consistent matchmaking in things besides Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, however, lately Dead by Daylight seems to be like a lobby simulator where the queue times feel like it takes forever until you start complaining, and then for some reason you get a match after complaining. But hey, I think that's just the sweet side of it, I guess. And if you're looking for free to play games that have unfortunately failed, then look no further than X Defiant, who recently had to announce their closure, even though they said that they had a pretty good community and were actually taking in the feedback into consideration and implementing that into their game. Unfortunately, it didn't last long. Concord was $40 before the servers were taken down, and it was eventually delisted. And honestly, can I just say this? Why the F is Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League still at $70. Heck, even Skull and Bones is now $40 after its backlash over its original pricing. Though I admit I did get Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League for $20 because I got it used at GameStop. But, that seems more reasonable for the $20 price tag. The $70 price tag that it's giving, I'm sorry, why? One thing I have always said, if I'm paying full price for a game, and by full price, I'm obviously talking about $60, $70, and I'm still being pushed so many microtransactions to unlock characters or to have loot boxes that have a slim chance of actually giving me what I want, I'm sorry. Give the game to... I'm not buying the game. If you're going to be pushing it to me for $70, $60, $70, and I still have to do all of these things. No. I am more than likely going to spend more money in your game if you let me buy it for $20 to $40, and I'm probably going to spend it, considering how the game is. Honestly, it's always depending. And unfortunately, just because you make a game free to play doesn't mean it's going to become a straight up hit. Like I said, X Defiant was straight up free, and guess what? They straight up did not last long. And just because you're making another Arkham Universe game does not mean players are going to automatically fall in love with it. Yes, there is going to be some sort of hype around it because of the history, but the end result is going to be because of the product you're putting out. Live service games tend to have a lot of loot boxes, but mostly so many cosmetic purchases. And here's the thing. If your game that you're selling me and I feel like it is straight up trash, and why did I pay this much money for trash? Guess what? That is not going to equal successful outcome. Because unfortunately, when you have the majority of your audience that are saying, hey, we don't want this, this isn't what we want, and it's the majority of your, of your fan base, I'm so sorry. It's like I wanted a hiccup. Anyway, if the majority of us are saying, no, we don't want it, take it back. Guess what? Take it back. We don't want it. You're going to end up with such a huge financial loss. And I'm not sure what developer needs to hear this, but not every game needs to be a live service game. Sorry, I just feel like I needed to say it loud enough for the people in the back. And the reason why I feel like it's important is because no one in their right mind asked for a live service game of God of War. I get that there would probably be some people who would buy it, but ultimately it's going to be a massive flop and a massive, massive waste of money. Just like how you can keep, moving copies of a game if it's that good. If it's that good, you're gonna keep moving copies. Trust me, I own like 4 different copies of Stardew Valley. And yes, I understand I have a problem. Listen, I get seeing successes like Overwatch and Fortnite. Okay, I understand that and wanting that same type of success. But I do believe you should focus on what your development team can do best, because that will ultimately lead you to where you want to go. Because guess what? You won't have developers that are going to put out, in a lot of people's opinions, just shitty work, when that's not what they do best. If they do best at story-driven, action-driven games, that's awesome. But if you're putting that same story-driven team and then you're randomly going to put them into a live service game, I'm sorry, you're just literally asking for your game not to do well, because just like what they're capable of when it comes to a certain category, guess what? Your audience knows that as well. It's like expecting Don't Nod to come out with some sort of Life is Strange live service game where you get to pick from the main characters. Don't Nod, I better not see you taking any notes, please. I don't want freaking Max Caulfield to suddenly pop up with an AK, and then Chloe Price coming out here with her cigars and telling Max, shoot him up. Jokes aside, I honestly just think people in general are tired of so many companies wanting to come out with their own live service game. I think it's because most people see it as the company just wanting some sort of an easy cash grab. As a consumer, we want to make sure and we want to feel like we're getting our money's worth. If we're giving you, again, $70 for some bare boned game that was not at all how it was remotely marketed, and not, especially not even remotely what, the audience wanted, I don't think it's I don't think it's, unwise to assume that we didn't want to purchase that game, especially when we've had so many, how do you call it? We gave you so many feedback that, hey, we weren't going to want this and everything. And then you're still here with the Pikachu face. Like, oh my God, why is this game doing so horribly? We have to cancel this. Yeah, guess what? Because we, as the audience, as the consumer, have told you time and time and again, listen, we're kind of tired and burnt out of these live service games. We don't know about your developers, but us as the consumers, we're kind of tired of like playing them consistently. Unfortunately, we already have our set live service games, like I said, Dead by Daylight, Fortnite, Overwatch. We also have Grand Theft Auto Online, and we have PUBG. I think people are still playing PUBG. Anyway, we already have our set live service games that we flock to. Rainbow Six Siege is a very popular live service game still, because I think they're still adding new operatives. I'm not sure. But either way, those are games that everyone has had a hands in. We all know what to expect. And they're just good. Because why? Because they've been taking the time to be good. I don't know. I understand that some companies are just like, oh, people just hate us. It's just like you kind of have to understand and look at why people don't really like being lied to, or probably why we don't like companies pushing out a product to us and forcing us essentially to like, hey, you have to play this because this is a great game. This is a great game. But yet we don't see it as a great game. We see it as you wanting an easy cash grab for like $70, when if you're giving it to me for $70, I'm sorry, you better believe I am assuming that this is a damn near perfect live service game. Because a live service game that you're going to be constantly putting in cosmetics or different stuff like that so I can spend more money on, I'm sorry, you got to be kidding me. This is kind of like a little partial rant. I'm so sorry, guys. It's just that I'm very tired of live service games. I really am. I understand, easy money, easy thing you can get into, but these are talented people. Like, these companies have very talented developers, and they're just making them work on these live service games. And then when they don't pan out and they have to close the studios, they have to lay off all these people, and they're just like, well, I don't know how this could have gone wrong. I don't know how this went wrong. It's like, well, if you want, in every bathroom there should be a mirror so you can look into it. Anyway, I will use that as my time to go. Thank you all, guys, so much for watching and for having the utmost patience with me. I recently bought a capture card. I think I said that in the last video. But lately I've just been playing my PlayStation 5 and recording, like saving the recordings, the clips, so I can then use them as like B-roll. But I do want to start putting out more content into my second channel, which I have to do things to essentially verify that I'm a real person, because I haven't uploaded there in, oh my God, such a long time. Again, thank you all so much for having the utmost patience in me. And I do feel better. I have been feeling better. It was a break well needed, even though it was only like a few days, but it was much needed. It was much needed. Stuff is going on at work that, I'm pretty sure you guys don't want to listen to, but yeah. That's just me. Have a wonderful, beautiful day, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.